My jaw is on the freaking floor. So if you've watched my other video, it's about that I got rejected from an entry-level job I applied for. I made it to the final round interview, got rejected. I was more than qualified. This literally required 0 years of experience, and I reached out to the recruiter for feedback, and she finally got back to me. A week later, she finally got back to me, and guess what she said? Guess what she fucking said? They went with someone with more experience for this entry-level job for an operations coordinator. My last job, I was a senior operations analyst. I literally am not don't have enough experience for an entry-level job. I'm dead.
Let me know in the comments if you're also going through this, but I've been between jobs for about a year now, having to do what I can to get by, and I applied for over 800 jobs. I've had some interviews, but barely any companies reach out to set up interviews. It's literally, again, over 800 positions. Lots of the sorrow we've moved on, but then lots of times it's nothing. I apply on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, directly on sites, and it's just crazy. It didn't ever used to be like this. And the change in the economy and things from COVID made me have to kind of transition out of the company I was working with at the time because they were struggling and I couldn't afford to keep working there anymore. And so here I am now, just from poor circumstances, applying all around. I want to know, who else is kind of dealing with this? And, feel free to, show me support here on TikTok, and maybe I can get some help out. I'm going to share a bit about myself on here and things I'm up to.
The job market's cooked, nigga, the economy's cooked, everything fried, bro. I'm post-grad, right? I graduated at 24, right? I know what day it is now. Nigga. It's damn near a year of me trying to find a job. I thought that I was safe because I fly planes, right? I don't fly the airline. Anyway, I fly planes. Nigga, nobody's hiring. Everybody's posting jobs, nobody's hiring. It don't make sense. Bro, I went to this one spot, right? I'm so flexible. I will work and fly planes in any state, any place. I went to Hawaii, right? To Hawaii to apply to a job. She says, you know what? I decided, white woman, by the way, white woman. She said, I decided I only want to hire locals. This bitch is from Nebraska. The fine young lady is from Nebraska. What do we mean locals? You're not local. What are you talking about? Local? So I lied. Actually, I live here. I don't. But anything to get a job, please get hire me. I said, I live here. She said, mind you, I'm in California at the time. She's like, okay, well, can you fly here tomorrow? I got the bag. Yes. First flight. Red eye. I said, yes. She said, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Exactly. You wasn't expecting that. Nigga, expect the unexpected. So she was like, okay. She start making up shit, right? Start making up stuff. Oh, well, actually, we only have a part-time position. Hire me. Fuck it. I'll work. Nigga, I work for free. Fuck it. So she told me, so we only got a part-time position. I said, okay, cool. Bet. I'll pull up. Why not? She said, well, actually, it's always a well, actually. So then she put me onto this other spot. The other guy was hiring. I called him up. Hey, man, I'm a pilot. I got this, and this. All the requirements he need, I got them. I said, I got this requirement, right? He said, oh, cool, great. He said, can you come tomorrow? Yes. He said, do you live on an island? No, but I'm moving, right? These are all the answers I'm giving him. Lying. But I can, though. He's like, okay, bet. Where are you from? I said, California. He said, oh, you're from California? You're not from the island? Yeah, he got me there. I said, no, but I'm moving there in a week. He said, oh, okay. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. Nigga. I hang up he said, okay, perfect. He said, matter of fact, fly here on this date for this time, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna buy the ticket. I email him, right? We hang up, email him. Hey, man, this is the ticket date I'm coming. Are we confirmed for the interview? Ghosted me. So then I called back. I'm like, hey, man, I haven't bought my ticket yet because you haven't confirmed the thing. He said, oh, I thought you already bought the ticket. If you can't make it here tomorrow, I got other people coming for the job. I bought the ticket immediately. I called back, hey, I bought the ticket. Oh, you're coming tomorrow? I thought you wasn't gonna come. Anybody that that needs pilots or hiring pilots, please hit my line. Please! The U.S. job market right now is trash. I don't know what is going on with the United States, but right now we are having a major unemployment issue. Between jobs laying off, jobs firing, and jobs not hiring. The United States is doomed. I don't know if it's just me, but all of my friends have been either getting laid off or fired. Most of it is because the companies are not making enough money. And some, not all of it, is from these new tariffs that Trump imposed. So in an already dying market, we're gonna tax the companies more. I really feel like sooner than later, the US market is gonna completely crash. And everyone but the rich are concerned right now. I really don't think people realize how deep and how bad this is actually getting. Right now, the unemployment is on the rise, but also the price of everything is also on the rise. People are not spending money, they're not going out, and they're not eating as healthy as they used to because it's just too expensive. So that's going to cause small businesses to go out of business, restaurants to lose money, and major inflation. Can this be stopped, or is it too late? Tell me what you guys think.
Please talk about how most jobs you can be trained for. You really don't need a degree for most jobs, yet these job postings make it completely impossible to even get a job. Aside from being like a doctor, a lawyer, stuff that requires years and years of schooling, most jobs you can be trained for. Most jobs you can easily learn to do. Go get a bachelor's degree for 4 years. Sometimes you don't even get into a career field that you got your degree in. They just want a degree to say that you have a degree. That's one. Second of all, like, if you really look at the job listings and the job duties, so many of these things can be learned. I'm looking at one right now, right? So what you would have to do for this one is to update shipment statuses, file and track claims, coordinate with customer service to resolve small issues, enter and track shipments into some portal. Okay, that's all you need to do. You can easily be trained for that. I have another one, customer support specialist. Answer customers' questions and resolving any issues that they may be facing, identify problem areas, ensure customer satisfaction. This is a remote job. Okay. Easily you can learn to do that. If these companies would just spend at least 2 weeks training their employees, so many people who otherwise wouldn't get a chance or get an opportunity to have this job can change their lives. How are you supposed to get experience if they don't even give you experience? There are no entry-level jobs that actually pay decently. There are no entry-level jobs where you can work your way up and learn. They don't exist. They're asking for years of experience. They're asking for degrees. They're asking for certifications. They're asking for this for an entry-level job. Like, how is that fair? I see people on here with bachelors, with masters, who are like, I still can't get hired. So it's like, really, what is there for like 70% of the population? Like, what are we supposed to do? Like I said, I understand there are some professions where you need a lot of schooling. You need to know what you're doing. Obviously, you're not going to go to a doctor that has no idea what they're doing. I understand that, but that's different. Those are doctors, those are lawyers, those are dentists, those are nurses. Like, even like teaching, all of that is different. I'm just like so like down about it. Like, I literally went to Amazon today for my pre-hire appointment to go work at the warehouse because it's like nothing else. I've been applying to everything else, and it's like nothing. Amazon is like the only place where you can actually go and get hired instantly for obviously warehouse work. But it's like, I don't know, you guys, life is just shit is hard. Times are fucking hard.
I knew the job market was bad, but I did not know that it was literally in the pits of hell. Backstory. So I moved back home to start over. I have a daughter and I'm in school for my master's. Amazing. Moved back home around mid-November to start over, like I said. And it's been 6 months and I've applied to over 40-50 restaurants all over the city of Chicago, and I have yet to get an interview. And I'm lying because yesterday I actually got my first interview from a place that I applied to months ago, and I'm super happy about it because it's very convenient for where I'm at right now, and it's a cute little spot. Like, it's you know, wish me luck, because honestly all I need is the interview. All I need is the interview, and I can work my magic. Like, I'm great at being a server. I am great at being personable. I'm a very fun person and very easy to work with. So I know the moment that I get the interview, in my mind, I already got the job. So to apply to over 40, 50 places, thinking that when I was coming from the restaurant that I was at when I was in Ohio, which I absolutely love, I cried tears when I left because I loved working there so much. It was so fun. I just knew in my head, hey, I'm gonna go to Chicago and it's gonna be so easy to get another serving job. I get here and it's crickets for a good 6 months. 6 months. The job market is so down bad that 6 months it took me to get an interview. And I'm grateful for the interview and I'm excited. In my mind, I already got the job, but the market should not be this bad. I'm not even in a rural area. I'm in Chicago, so the opportunities should be endless. I was in Cleveland back then, and I'm pretty sure there is a lot of restaurants in Chicago that surpass the amount that exists in Cleveland. So at this point, I should have had quite a few interviews. Honestly, if I would have got the first one, I'd probably still be at the first place because I just don't understand. I don't understand. Help.
At this point, I think I'm just gonna sell feet pics online for money because the job market right now is shit! I'm currently looking for a job and I don't have that much experience, so I'm just looking for an entry-level position, okay? Nothing too crazy. I'm like looking at these entry-level positions. Let me know why one of them said 8 fucking years of experience. 8 years? You see, I'm no mathematician, but I graduated from college 2 years ago. And the last time I checked, college was 4 years? So 4 plus 2 is 6, right? So the extra 2 years would have meant that I would have been in high school. 8 years of industrial experience. Girl, I was still busy learning what the nucleus of a cell was. Like, you mean 8 years of industrial experience? No. Wait, but hold on. There's more. The tomfoolery doesn't end here. Nope. All of a sudden, all companies want to release ghost jobs where they just leave the position, but they never intend to fill it. So it's basically just rotting up there on the job board for like 6-7 months. And people are applying, getting their hopes up, and trying to get a new job, but clearly that job isn't meant to be filled. So like, why is it still there? You're wasting my time! I want a job and I want it now! I'm literally gonna pull a Katie Fang and start crying because of work. But the difference between me and her is that she actually has a job. Meanwhile, I don't. Oh my god. Wait, that makes it worse. Wait. Oh my god.
If you're struggling with the job market right now, just know that I literally was offered a job, signed a legal contract, was told to quit my current job, was meted and greeted by the whole team, gotten coffee, so excited to have you next week. And then on my last day of my 2 weeks notice for the job that they told me to quit, I was told that the company did not have the funds to bring on a new person and they were rescinding my offer.
The job market in 2025 has been the worst that has ever been. If you think the job market was bad in 2024, which was last year, it is even worse than this year. Long story short, I have a friend who has a lot of experience in managing restaurants. He also has many years experience with sales as well. He was a manager at his restaurants and he was also a manager in his sales role position when he worked in sales. So his resume is pretty solid and pretty stacked up. Unfortunately for him, the company went under, so now he's looking for a new job. He told me he had so many job interviews. He applied for multiple positions, qualified, some were even overqualified, and he still wasn't able to land the job. Keep in mind, he wasn't just a regular worker, like a regular team member. He was actually managing these places with multiple years of experience. And he's a pretty smart, educated dude too. He personally thinks the job market is so bad and that because of that, there's so much competition nowadays. Even though he did have a lot of job interviews, there was a lot of jobs that just straight ghosted him or rejected him. So for word of advice, do not quit your current job, even though if you hate it. Do not quit your job unless you have something lined up or if you have some type of safety net. Now, if it's affecting your mental health, then that's a different story. But just know the job market right now is absolutely brutal. And be grateful for your jobs because there's people out there that are trying their hardest and they're not getting nothing.
I am absolutely done with this job market because I just had an interview where the person was like, yeah, we found the person yesterday that we actually want to hire, but we still want to talk to you. And then proceeds to not ask me any questions and then just says, we'll let you know if the other person doesn't work out. Like, how is that professional in any way? I learned that if something like this happens again, I'm going to push back more because that's ridiculous. Just wasted my time for 2 days to do this. And this is after multiple reschedules and also being late today to the interview. So I don't even think I want to work for this company anyways.
I am truly shocked just how brainwashed the corporate America has a lot of us. And I'm not saying that to offend the regular folks. I'm saying that as I was unemployed recently, just a couple months ago. I've been employed for the last 3 months, but prior to that I was unemployed for 3 months. I got laid off from my previous company. And what's so interesting to me, I spent like every week applying to at least 30 to 40 jobs weekly for those 3 months I was unemployed. Every single day I applied to jobs like it was a full-time job. Every hour I would apply for a couple of jobs. Every hour, every single hour I would apply for a couple of jobs. Now, mind you, I am employed. It's none of the jobs I applied for. I was recruited. But what's so interesting to me is the entire time I was waking up every single morning and applying for jobs while I'm sitting out eating my breakfast and drinking my coffee is that I felt guilty the entire time. I just like, I'm flabbergasted at the reality of that. I saw somebody on TikTok talking about it earlier, that there's a profound sense of shame as well as guilt, but specifically the guilt of feeling like you did something wrong, right? You are looking for jobs. And the only time you feel like not guilty is on the weekend. You're not employed the entire time, but the only time you feel non-guilt is because it's the weekend and everybody's off on the weekend, so you don't feel bad for not having a job. But it's like crazy to me because simultaneously we also have the conversation going on right now that nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work, yet we're feeling guilty that we don't have a job. That's nonsensical to me. Because first of all, most people want to work. Companies don't want to hire, and they also don't want to pay. But even for the companies that don't want to pay, people are still applying for those jobs. Myself, I was applying for jobs that were completely out of my pay range that I'm used to. But I was just looking for a job. I don't care. I've always worked from home. I've worked from home since 2018, but I was applying for jobs in office. It didn't matter. I was applying for jobs in my field that I know I have extensive history in working. Like every single bulletin point I was meeting, or at least majority of it I was meeting. And still I was having issues. And what's cracking me up again is that there's this notion that nobody wants to work. They're lazy. They don't want to put in effort. And yet companies are consistently not hiring, but they have these jobs up. And that was the thing. Even now I go back and look at some of those jobs I applied for. They're still there. They're still there. It wasn't even like the positions got filled. And I'm still getting rejected to jobs I applied for 6 months ago. Because mind you, I've been employed for the last 90 days, for the last 3 months. And I was applying for those jobs since September, October. They're still there. And I met majority, if not all, the requirements. And this is not to toot my own horn. This is to prove a point. I had 4 different resumes just to switch it around and do different things. I had 2 created by AI and 2 I did myself. And I still did not get any of those jobs. I didn't have anybody reach out to me. I got a job via recruiter. But it was crazy how many job sites I went on, how many times a day I was actively looking for a job and was not able to find one. And yet I'm constantly hearing nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work hard. Americans don't want to work. And yet I'm seeing constantly on TikTok people getting on here saying I've been unemployed for 8 months. I've been unemployed for 6 months. People are taking barista jobs and waitressing jobs. And that's not to say those jobs are demeaning. And a lot of times those jobs pay more than corporate jobs. But the point is that people are applying for whatever is available and they're still being told they're not trying. They're still being told they're not working hard. And that's why I have a lot of room and a lot of grace, not only for myself, but for other people. Because I'm like, babes, we're all going through the trenches right now and we're all making an effort and we're being hardcore gaslit by the people around us while they're simultaneously taking away aid that would help us while they're not hiring us and not paying us. I am flabbergasted at how well they were able to sufficiently brainwash us, especially millennials, and how sucky it is going to be for Gen Z because they're looking for jobs out of college. And we're looking for jobs during this time and none of us are finding jobs, even though the jobs are listed and we're applying. And we have 4 resumes and 5 resumes and all this expert advice and all this career advice and career shift. I don't care how much you shift your career. That's why everybody's trying to be a influencer and I don't blame them. No matter how annoying it is to hear people talk about content creation, which it is becoming very annoying on this app. And no matter how much annoying it is to see people become influencers, what are they supposed to do to keep their lights on? Yes, unfortunately, they're going to have to sell on TikTok shop. Of course, they're going to be a pain in your ass because corporations are a pain in everybody else's ass who are qualified to work and are unable to. And then for the people who make buku bucks, make a lot of money, of course they're going to keep doing this because the corporate job has been so uncertain that running your own business seems more sensible now. Not even if you don't want to do it, because I know entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but what is one to do when you're qualified for jobs and they're either not paying you or simply not hiring?
What's up, America? Finding a job in the United States now. So if you're looking for a job here in the United States, it's become difficult, if not even a fool's errand. But what do I mean by that? Well, there's a couple of things that have gotten in the way of finding a job here in America if you're a citizen that's basically making it damn near impossible to gain any upward mobility. So first of all, one of the things we have to talk about are ghost jobs. Yeah, that's right, ghost jobs, mainly on Indeed and other job sites. These are jobs that you apply to and nobody ever contacts you back, yet they stay there and they never get filled, ever. These are called ghost jobs. These are jobs that are posted that the company has no plans of filling. So these ghost jobs are put online without the intention of filling them. You'll apply for them. Thousands of people will apply for them, and they'll never be filled because the jobs are there to show that they're hiring. That's it. It's just optics. So ghost jobs need to be illegal. You can tell these very easily because specifically on Indeed, it'll say it's been there for 30 days or more. Then they'll get rid of the job and then just repost it, and it'll sit there for another month over and over and over again. Then if you do find a job that actually is a real job, then you have to contend with diversity, equity, and inclusion. So if that's DEI, that means if you're white or if you're a male, you're not going to be hired whatsoever. So you have to look specifically and just not apply for those jobs because you know you're not going to get them no matter what. Your name says it all, and they'll just throw your application in the garbage. So then for the younger people who would generally work at jobs that are job site jobs right out of high school or fast food jobs, those are now being taken mostly by illegal aliens in the United States. So there's really no first job for a lot of people. As a matter of fact, 70% of people that graduate high school have never been employed ever. And so if you want to go to college, that's one thing. If you want to go to trade school, generally you'll work on a job site while going to school to get your training for the trade you're doing. But you're not going to be doing that because illegal immigration has taken over the construction field almost exclusively. Same with fast food restaurants. You'll see a whole bunch of grown adults working at McDonald's from foreign countries that are illegal aliens, when generally those would go to high school kids. And so you have ghost jobs you have to contend with, diversity, equity, and inclusion to contend with. Younger people are contending with illegal aliens for their jobs, so they're not learning job or any type of technical skills. Then if you go to trade school, you want to work on the job site. Nope, you have a whole bunch of illegal aliens there. And even if you don't get a company like that, then you have to contend with DEI. On top of that, stagnant wages, no pension, no fucking prospects. So it's no wonder that younger people in the United States basically do nothing for a living except make content. Because a lot of these times, even if they try fucking looking for a job, it's beyond their reach. It's beyond the reach of most Americans. And this is just simply because of a three-pronged approach that's destroying this part of America. One of them being illegal immigration, one of them being DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the other one is fake ghost jobs by companies just propping up their own business for optics. So even with Donald Trump, I don't know if this country can be saved. It looks to me like a lot of people that are, quote, running this country don't give a shit about the citizens at all. It's been that way for a while. So thank God most of us work, because if you were looking for a job right now, specifically as a white man, you would never find shit. And in my opinion, that's done on purpose.